Be Right Back is a sci-fi short from the Netflix anthology series Black Mirror. The episode was written by Charlie Brooker, Jesse Armstrong, and directed by Owen Harris. The dark, surreal episode follows Martha, a sweet and loving woman who has recently lost her husband and best friend. Attempting to grapple with her loss, she looks for ways to cope, ways that may not all be human. This film explores themes and ideas of being human, technology, our connection with it, and its ability to be used as a coping mechanism. As the story progresses, the themes and ideas constantly bring in question of what makes something human, or what is a human. Near the end of the episode, Martha reaches a breaking point with her clone husband, realizing he is just a copy, an echo of what was. So, she takes Ash to a cliffside, seemingly about to jump. The writing in this scene is powerful and emotional. It portrays Martha's inability to grow and let go. It also portrays Ash's inability to act human. This scene highlights the way the clone of Ash only attempts to be human, a performance of sorts. His flaws begin to show as he is unable to read the room and the situation. Ash continues pushing Martha's buttons, showing he isn't reacting, instead he is following. A specific portion of the scene highlights everything this movie is about. When Martha asks Ash to jump, he begins to do so. Before he can jump, Martha points out that if he were actually Ash, or human, he would question it. At this point, Martha is questioning whether or not she actually wants this to happen, showing her inability to let go even though she doesn't want this fake version of her lover. She is split on the edge about Ash and whether or not he is human enough for her, showing how deep her connection has gone to this technology and how far she is tainted by it. Visually and symbolically, this scene relates to the point Martha has reached. Martha has quite literally brought herself to the edge, physically and mentally. It may seem she is about to throw herself off, but instead the cliff isn't for her. The cliff is for Ash. First, it makes it interesting that she goes to a cliff because a cliff can mean death, and death is human. It is almost as if Martha has brought Ash to see how human he can really get. She brings something that can't die to a place where death happens, which in turn highlights even more flaws in Ash through his writing. I believe this place in the scene serves as an analogy, as it takes place on a beautiful cliffside instead of some random bridge. She isn't taking in the view, instead she is there for the only other reason someone goes to a cliff: death. It is life and beauty meets death, which interestingly enough is exactly the situation Martha has found herself in with her lover. This leads me to the sound design of this scene. In this scene, the sounds consist of peaceful noises like birds, wind, and ocean waves. All the noises of nature and non-artificial life. This choice stands as a large contrast to the life she has been living recently. Because she is in a place that is breathing life, it serves as almost a reflection or a wake-up call on how robotic her life has been. All the artificiality of her life has led her to being in a place that is completely natural and full of life, allowing her to see what is real again and what it means to be human. At the start of the scene, we see this happen in a small moment where she approaches the edge and watches the birds soar through the wind and caw over the ocean waves. The lighting in this scene is simple, but it creates an atmosphere that reflects Martha's emotions very well. The sky is cloudy and the scene lacks color. This lack of color reflects how much color she lost when Ash left her, making her world seem bland and boring without him. The gloomy and soft lighting also creates an emotional environment that reflects Martha's angst from the situation she is in as she stands on the edge of a cliff. At the end of the scene, Martha screams at the top of her lungs, capturing her extreme pain on a completely different level. If this scream didn't give you chills, then I don't know what will. The execution and the portrayal of this pain all boils down to the performance and the acting. The actress Hayley Atwell took the character Martha to a deeper emotional plane in this very scene. Her sadness takes a toll on her so much so that it leads to her anger and she snaps. When Ash begins to act as if he is afraid to jump, pretending to be more human, this sound of pain and fear from him, though not real, still sparks a soft spot for Martha, leading to a guttural yell that captures her complicated feelings of the clone of Ash. In conclusion, this scene explores what it truly means to be a human by highlighting Martha's dependency on Ash's clone and the toll of using technology as a coping mechanism. The visuals, the acting, the sound, and writing all together reflect her pain while questioning humanity and our connection to technology.